Hi, my name is Abahi and I am a claims adjuster. If I can help you make money in this very lucrative industry, would you let me? Today we are going to discuss the question on this screen right next to me. If you need help with that and more, stay tuned. But first, tales from the field.
Just what we want?
See if that thing will flash. There we go. And then take that zoom. Hi, if you're new here, let me be the first to welcome you to a very lucrative industry. I want you to know that if you plan to be a claims adjuster and make that very lucrative money for the next 5+ years, this is the space for you. It is my goal to employ 1 million people, and I've already have 100 under my belt. Now, I would like to invite you to learn more about what we do and how we do it, how I do it. Then click the link below and enjoy the rest of this video.
If you have been in an accident and didn't get paid diminished value, you got screwed.
You do claims nationwide?
Yeah. Well, if you have a car accident and you're not at fault, your car repaired with your own insurance, like if you have collision coverage, once it's repaired, you get in touch with me, produce a diminished value appraisal for you, and then you will be able to submit a diminished value claim with the at fault insurance company, so with the other person's insurance company.
Oh, okay. Okay, so get the repairs done first? That's different from us. We're like, don't do any repair work until we finish.
Oh, you mean like with the house? Oh, yeah, that's different.
Oh, okay. So you recommend going ahead and getting your own, but then won't your rates go up? Like instead, like
you're not at fault. Remember, you're not at fault, so they're not gonna go up.
But explain that to me though, because I thought you said use your own insurance.
Yeah, that's what I recommend.
So if you use your own insurance, so for example, one time I was driving on the highway, and this piece of metal fell off of a truck. It bounced off the road and it hit my windshield. So I called GEICO and I'm like, hey, I got this glass claim, and I really but I was on the road and I was in Alabama at the time, and they had it like Safe Light, was going to come out, but it wasn't until they didn't have availability until I was gone. So although I let GEICO know about it, right? But I never really did anything with it. And then next thing you know, when I'm trying to get another insurance company, they're like, oh, you got this, claim out. You had this claim. And it felt like it was like causing my rates to actually be higher than it should have.
Well, it seems like something got messed up with that claim, because it's clearly not your fault. Did you ever, were you able to identify the other driver? Or
I did.
Insurance?
I chased them down because I'm like, this is my brand new car. I only had that car for 5 months. So yeah.
Did you make a claim for repairs with your own insurance or with their insurance?
So at first I started with my own insurance, right? Because I'm like, shoot, I don't know if they're going to pay or not pay. These were I won't say illegals out there, but they were, I sent this to the same group, but they were, I don't know, they had their license, but the company did not have insurance. They didn't want to go through their insurance company, I should say. So
but you weren't able to get their information. I mean, their insurance information.
No, I was not. They ended up going ahead and paying the folks who took care of the damage. Like I found, the glass place and all of that myself. Yeah, they ended up taking care of that. but I had to also do some Ubers and Lyft, which cost me more money out of pocket. And I had to clean up the glass too, because, that company only did like, a half-ass job in cleaning up the glass.
So basically, they were uninsured.
I don't know if they were or not, but I never did see their insurance.
Okay, but like for all intents and purposes,
sure, they were uninsured.
They were unable to provide you with insurance. They were uninsured. So did you have uninsured policy with your company?
Did I have? I should have. I think we have to have it in Georgia, and we do have about 8 people watching us now. Hey everybody, if you're tuned in watching us, I'm talking to Simon. He is an auto appraiser based out of California. He is going to teach us about diminished value, how to get everything you're owed on an auto claim. So that's what we're talking about at this time. It's probably cheaper for them to cover. Yeah, I would say too, Malcolm, but go ahead, Simon. You're somebody commented, it's probably just cheaper for that company to just pay. It was like $1,000 piece of windshield. So, who knows how many incidences they have, throughout a year.
Oh, you mean like
that company?
They meant that it's cheaper for that company to pay directly rather than go through their insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, in general, it's never a good idea to go around the insurance companies because what if they just refuse to pay you? What would you do?
So I had the guy's ID and I just had the company's number. If they refused to pay, then I would have had to have gone through my insurance company. And my deductible, I guess, probably would have been about $500 anyway. And that I would have paid $500 basically out of pocket to get that repaired, all from a stupid piece of plank. I'm gonna see if I could actually show the picture. Somebody just showed it, not had it online.
Okay, then you would have gone through your own company.
Yeah.
But for example, sometimes when people like do this directly without involving insurance, they make a deal, right? Okay, we're just gonna make a deal. And let's say you hit me and you tell me, let's just make a deal. I'll pay you. Don't worry about it. I got you. I say, okay, I'm a nice guy. Fine. So I don't report it to my insurance and you don't report it to your insurance. So what happens if there's any kind of a problem, for example, my repairs were $4,000, but you only paid me $2,500 and it turned out my repairs are $4,000 and I want more money, you're like, no way, I already paid you. So what am I supposed to do? Now I can't really go to my own company because you know this, like under your contract with your insurance policy, you're supposed to report every accident, regardless of whether you were at fault or not. So I was supposed to report our accident to my company, and I didn't report it. So just that alone, that could have cost me coverage. So when you don't promptly report the accident, they have every right to deny you coverage later if you report it later. So right away there's that risk. So if anything at all goes wrong between our arrangement, in our direct arrangement, I take all the risk. So you're taking all the risk, and you're basically at the mercy of the person who promised to make it right. And also, are they going to pay for diminished value, for example? Are they going to pay for loss of use? Are they going to pay for your rental? Are they going to pay for all the claims that you have? Probably not. Probably they just mean, I'll pay for your repairs. That's it. So there are many reasons to not do it direct, if at all possible. And so you should always try to do it with their insurance company. And if they refuse, then you just treat it as uninsured, and you go through your company's uninsured policy.
I see. Wow. Okay. So some things you said there. So you should go ahead and file with your insurer, right? But tell me, so do you help? Is part of your job is to can you intervene in when it's a third party situation? like I had?
What do you mean by intervene?
Well, could you have represented me for my auto claim? So this was the auto damage that happened. See that pipe?
No, because it's your claim. I could give you some general guidance about your claim because, for example, let's say it's diminished value. I'm an expert in diminished value. I could give you some guidance about your claim, but I can't represent you in your negotiations with the insurance company because it's not my claim; it's your claim.
Mm. So tell me, so what do you do then? Let's go there. Tell us a little bit. We got about 10 or so people watching. Tell me us and teach us, what do you do in the auto insurance industry?
Sure, that's a great question. When somebody gets into an accident and it's not their fault, what happens is the insurance company of the other person, they cover the repairs. So they pay for the repairs. And even if you do the repairs through your own company, then your own company basically subrogates the cost of the repairs from the default insurance. So they pay, the default insurance pays for the repairs either way. So they cover the repairs. And then also if you have, like, let's say you have some kind of an injury, you have medical costs, so they cover that. Also, they usually cover rentals, and then maybe loss of wages if you had to miss work for some time. So things like that. And that's when 99 out of 100 people just call it even and move on with their lives.
Okay.
But unfortunately, at that point, they got screwed. Why? Because even after their car has been well repaired, let's say it was well repaired, no issues at all, properly repaired, usually your car lost several $1,000s in market value. Why? Because it's been in an accident. And now it's going to be on Carfax or AutoCheck, and people will see that it's been in an accident, and people are just not willing to pay as much for a car that's been in an accident. And you can ask yourself, you can ask your friends, you can ask your family, would you pay the same for a car that's been in an accident, or for the exact same car that's clean, that hasn't been in an accident? And everyone is going to pay much less for the car that's been in an accident. So that amount that in the market value that was lost is called diminished value. And what people don't know is that the at-fault insurance company is liable to make you whole for that, just law or rental, etc. So because people don't know about it.
Oh, you're freezing up. You're freezing up. Okay, there you go.
Company. And the insurance industry is actually billions of dollars a year on this. So what I do is I help people claim diminished value from the at-fault insurance company. I prepare a certified diminished value appraisal for them. Then they can take this appraisal and submit a claim to the at-fault insurance and get paid, get that check for diminished value. That's what I do.
Tell us some numbers. So what are some numbers like? Because you're right. When you're car shopping, you do want that Carfax. You want to know if it's been in an accident, how many oil changes. You even want to know if it's been flooded out. And we bought a car one time, and it was salvage. It had a salvage title, which was a headache in itself.
That's bad, yeah.
And so what are some numbers like? And I don't know if does it vary, 2008 versus 2012?
So the average diminished value amount is $4,000. And $4,000 that the average driver is just leaving on the table. It just keeps sitting in the bank account of the insurance company unclaimed. And $4,000 is a lot of money for the average person, for the average family, and it's unfortunate that people don't know about it and that they don't claim it.
Yeah, somebody. So, hey, everybody, if you're watching, we're talking to Simon. He is a diminished value appraiser. So, if you have any questions while we're chit chatting here, please go ahead and type in the chat box. We are live on YouTube, and I would love to be able to let him know what questions you have about appraisals, about auto claims, about how to get your recovered diminished value. If you've ever been in an accident, let us know. We want to be able to hear from you. How far back can somebody go? This incident happened in 2018.
Okay,
Is it too late for me?
that's a very good question. So this depends state by state. Since
Okay.
the United States is a federal system, states have like their own different laws. So this depends state by state. And this is something that's called the statute of limitations. The
Okay.
statute of limitations for property damage. So what you should do is you should look up the statute of limitations for property damage for your state, and it's different. But in all states but one, it's at least 2 years. In some states, it's actually 6 years. In some,
Really? What?
yeah. On average, it's like 3 years, but you should really look up what it is in your state. But usually, it's at least a couple of years. So
Which state is 6 years?
I can look right now. There's a couple of states that are 6 years.
Well, that's a long time to go back.
Yeah, and actually, a lot of people think, "Oh, I've had that accident like a year, like a long time ago. It's already done. My claim is closed." Well, no, it's not. It's not done. According to your state's law, you still have the right to make a diminished value claim. And what happens is that they're just going to reopen the claim. The closing of the claim is not a legal thing. It's just an administrative thing. You know this because like you've worked in insurance companies, right? They just close the file. It's just their internal thing. Legally, it doesn't mean anything. So they'll reopen it just as well as they closed it. So
yeah, I know, right? They always try to use that as a threat. Oh yeah, well we've closed that claim. Yeah. Okay, click that button. Click that button and hit that radio dial and reopen the claim. It's going to take you less time to do that.
Less than 1 second, right?
You already closed it. So
right.
That's interesting too.
So as well. I'm looking here at this link, and I'm going to post it in our chat here. So it's called Civil Statutes of Limitations, and it's very handy. I actually use it every time. It has it for all 50 states and the District of Columbia. So what you do is you go here and you look under property damage, and I'm gonna post it in chat here.
Okay.
And just for example, we're gonna actually I'll answer your question. How about that? So for example, in Alabama, it's 6 years for property damage.
Wow.
In let's see here. In Maine, it's 6 years. In Minnesota, it's 6 years. In New Jersey, it's 6 years.
Wow.
North Dakota, in Oregon. You know how long it is in Rhode Island?
3 years.
10 years.
Really?
Yep.
So you can literally go back 10 years.
Yes.
And get somebody diminished value.
Absolutely.
For a claim.
In Rhode Island, yes.
Okay, so we got a question from the audience, from Malcolm Sims, and then I have a question too. Malcolm Sims says, "Is it easier to break in as a diminished value appraiser versus desk appraiser or true physical appraiser?"
Mm-hmm. I would say that it's harder because when you're a diminished value appraiser, you're completely on your own. You have to do your own marketing. You have to do your own sales. You have to do your own everything, and it's hard. But like getting like a standard desk adjuster job at an insurance company, you just sit there and you handle claims all day. You don't have to do marketing. You don't have to build the website. You don't have to handle billing. So it's actually basically as a diminished value appraiser today, it's basically running your own small business. So there's much more risk. It's much more involved, But on the other hand, you don't have a boss. You set your own scheduler, and potentially you could make more money. So, but it's very different because it's a small business.
Okay, so do you within the insurance company, are you talking to diminished value appraised adjusters? I didn't even know that was a niche or a craft. So they just work on diminished value. I mean, we have on the property side people that just
So
work contents.
what happens within the insurance companies? Uh, one of two things. Either they're like regular auto adjuster handles diminished value just like they handle everything else, or they have like a special diminished value department, or they have like a senior adjuster that handles like more intricate cases, and all the diminished value cases get sent to them because they're a little more unusual because so few people claim it. So they really don't come up as often. So the regular frontline adjusters, they just don't have much experience with diminished value. So it's very common for diminished value claims to get sent up to the basically like the supervisor level.
So what are some things that the insurance company comes back at with and say, no, Simon, we're not going to give anything else on this claim? I'm sure you've heard that once or twice.
Yeah, just once or twice. That's a great question because I like to laugh at the silly excuses that they give. So, for example, one of the favorites is you didn't sell the car, so you didn't suffer diminished value because you didn't sell the car. Well, that's complete garbage because according to the law, you don't have to sell the car.
Okay.
You already suffered the loss because your car has lost market value already. So that's one excuse. Another excuse is that's very popular is your car has been repaired up to your car has been repaired to as new condition. So there's nothing else we can do for you. If you have some kind of a problem with repairs, this is something that you should take up with the repair shop. So that's a very popular one. And that's also complete BS because, as I mentioned before, you could have very good repairs, very properly done, but the car still loses a lot of value because its Carfax is still dirty. So its history report is still dirty, and people are going to pay thousands less for it, no matter how well it was repaired. And another thing, they're trying to redirect this to another thing, which is called repair-related diminished value. So if the repairs were done improperly in some way, if there were some defects in the repairs, then yes, that was done by the repair shop, and that is the responsibility of the repair shop. But that is actually push your claim away to the repair shop and have the repair shop deal with it. But there is no problem with repairs. That's not what you're claiming. What you're claiming is called inherent diminished value. And inherent diminished value means the accident stigma, and it actually assumes that the repairs were done correctly. So it's just a trick. So let's see, those are some of the top 2. 3 is you can't prove diminished value. Like there is no way you can prove diminished value, and that's kind of related to you didn't sell the car, so you didn't suffer the loss. So they say, well, you can only prove it if you sell the car. So that's all. That's just BS.
Which insurance companies are the hardest to work with?
I would say State Farm
Wow.
and Allstate.
I have Allstate for my auto insurance.
Actually,
Now,
sorry, State Farm and Nationwide.
oh, Nationwide. Oh, I love them in the property side. I love them on the property side. Hey, just real quick, guys, if you're tuning in, thanks so much. We are talking to auto appraiser Simon. And Simon, your last name? I just keep saying
Galperin.
Yaprin, Simon Yaprin, who is out in California, but he helps those victims of auto accidents when they're working claims to help individuals get back everything they're owed from auto claims. So here on YouTube, I'm usually talking about property, but I wanted to get some information out there for those of you who are interested in doing auto claims or auto adjusting. This is a facet that I've never heard about. So we are talking about diminished value. If you have questions, please type those in the chat box. We're going to be talking to Simon for the next 20 minutes. So I definitely want you to be able to get those questions answered, how to get started, what to do, and how to do it. So between Nationwide and State Farm, those are the bad ones. Who's the good ones that you work with? That you see this claim come around and you're like, okay, I like them better than not the others.
The thing is that the handling of diminished value claims is so inconsistent that you could have adjusters within the same company behaving completely differently. You could even have the same company, the same office, just different adjusters, and one would just instantly deny the claim, and the other one would be extremely reasonable and settle it, within days. So very, very inconsistent, and I wish they develop more consistent training procedures and policies, because it would help them as well. It would streamline the claims. It would make everything much more efficient. By the way, I just looked up the statute of limitations for Georgia, and it's 4 years. So
well, my accident actually happened in Alabama. So I don't know. Does that matter?
That's 6 years.
Okay.
That's 6 years. But actually, it doesn't matter. It matters where your policy is, basically. So if you got your policy in Georgia, then the Georgia statute applies, not Alabama's.
Okay. So now, do I have to have, let's say if I hadn't alerted my insurer at all, would you still be able to go back and help? Say if somebody, they got hit, parking lot, they didn't know who did it, and they just repaired it themselves. Are they able to go back and file the claim and then work with the diminished value, or does the claim have to have been filed?
They might be able to, because even though the insurance companies technically they have the right to deny your claim simply because you didn't report the accident to them promptly. A lot of the times they don't, because they don't want to piss off the customer, when they don't really have to. So you might still be able to. Did you report it to your? You reported it to your company, right?
I reported it. Yep, I did report it to GEICO. So what happens next? So if I would, first, how does somebody find you, and then what's your pitch to me?
Sure.
when you find out about my incident.
Sure. So I can be found at tigerdv.com, and if you had an accident where you were not at fault and you want to get diminished value that you deserve, there is a little thing there that takes 2 minutes to fill out, and you fill it out, and I'll get you a free estimate. So I'll get you a number, an amount of diminished value.
Okay.
And my appraisals are pretty much the same of the estimate that I get. So you will know if it's worth it purchasing the appraisal.
Okay.
And of course, all my contacts are there. If you have any questions, I will be happy to help you. Now, Ibahi, about your accident, did you file a claim under your uninsured policy? Because as I see it, this is a case of the at fault driver not having insurance?
I am not sure. I'm not sure. I think I just reported a glass claim. I don't think I specified it being under the uninsured because honestly, it wasn't until just now when I was thinking like, yeah, actually, you're right. It's an uninsured motorist.
Okay. You report an accident.
Say that again. You broke up a little bit. Yeah, now I can.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I'm having some connection issues. So, did you report an accident? Like, do they know when you reported it? Did they know that it's an accident?
I don't know. I used the app to do to alert it. That was a bad mistake. See, the technology is not helping our industry. Anyone. No, I don't believe I talked to anybody.
Okay. So as far as I see it, you didn't misreport it. You didn't report any wrong information, but they just might not have the full information for this claim. So what you should do is get in touch with them immediately and say, I want to make a claim under my uninsured motorist policy in regards to the incident on this date. And then just go from there. Just explain everything to them.
Wow.
And there is a good chance that they will pay out on this.
Really? So what's your success rate? Even so, after somebody signs up with you, you give them the estimate. What's your success rate as far as always hitting that estimate and then getting nothing?
Getting nothing, that like almost never happens. Okay. So basically it's like this. Over 9 out of 10 people, they get a settlement that they're happy with without going to small claims. Okay. And about 1 person out of 10 has to go to small claims. Okay. To basically to get the check. And even going to small claims is really not that hard. It's like a Judge Judy environment. Anyone can do it. You don't need a lawyer. You can go yourself. So you basically take my appraisal, you go to small claims, and that's it. And you sue the driver and the owner, and like pretty much everybody wins there.
Okay, so we got another question from the audience. Oh, hold on, let me plug back in. The question, you can hear me hopefully though. It says, does an auto claims adjuster make a percentage off of the claim or only gets paid by the hour? So how do you get paid, I guess, essentially?
I'm not sure okay, so I'm right. I'm not sure if the person is referring to me as an appraiser or to adjusters that work at the insurance companies, because I'm an appraiser and the people who work at the insurance companies are adjusters. Either way, the answer is neither I nor them get paid a percentage of the claim. The adjusters get a salary or an hourly wage, with some get paid just $350 fee for the appraisal. That's it.
Okay, so yeah, that's true, right? If you work right at State Farm or one of the top insurance companies, likely it's that you're going to be paid by the hour, especially if you're sitting behind the desk. Some adjusters, I know for auto, they go out in the field, but there may be like a home location that they probably do paperwork, and they still, get that pay by the hour. But there are independent adjusters and appraisers. I think, like you mentioned, they get fee based. So it's not necessarily a percentage of the claim, which would kind of be understandable because the amounts are a lot less than on the property side. I mean, unless, I don't know if you've ever done you know,
I
the
mean,
value for
sure, we
$100
probably make more
car.
money, but there are ethical problems with that because that creates conflicts of interest. Like then, let's say for an appraiser, if he gets a percentage, then he's incentivized to appraise a higher amount, right?
Oh, sure,
And for the
sure.
adjuster, they're incentivized to settle for a lower amount because the
Right.
insurance company wants to pay out as little as possible. So that's why, like appraisers, we're actually forbidden from taking a cut. It has to
Okay.
be a flat fee.
Okay, so you charge by a flat fee, which is cool. And is your fee based though? Okay, it's a flat fee no matter if you're going to get me $200 or $2,000 or
No
$4,000.
matter. Like
Okay.
I just got a guy $5,000. My fee was $350, and with somebody who got like $1,800, it's still $350.
Okay, so tell us about that claim you just got somebody 5,000 for. What happened?
Sure.
How what did you do? And how did you win that?
Sure. So it's a guy in Nevada, and he had a nice car. He had a custom Mercedes, and he was hit, and there were significant damages, and they paid for the repairs, and also there was some medical. He got a lawyer for his medical expenses, and he turned to me for diminished value, and I appraised diminished value for about 8,000, and he took my appraisal and he submitted a claim. Their initial offer was so what they did is they went to their own appraiser, and they got their own appraisal, and that appraisal was for like 1,000 for 1,000, and they wrote him a very funny letter. So this is our appraisal. We think it's only 1,000, but as a measure of goodwill, we are offering you 1,200. So if you really think it's 1,000, why would you offer 1,200, right? So anyway, that's what we call a lowball offer in the industry. So the guy, kind of consulted me and said, like, do you have any tips for me? Like, what would you do? And I said, this is a lowball offer. Just reject it and say that, like, unless they're gonna make a serious offer, you're gonna litigate. You're gonna take this to small claims, or you're gonna pass this to your attorney, because this is just a lowball. So after that, like a few weeks went by, and they offered him 5,000. So 5,000, and then I said, okay, now finally you got a reasonable offer. Now they're not just messing around. Now you have to think. And they said, oh, this is a final offer. And I said, okay, so now you have to think, like, are you comfortable with 5,000, or you still want to fight this, because you can take this to small claims and go for the full 8,000. That's up to you, And he just decided to take 5,000. If it was me, I would go for the whole 8,000. But people have lives. They don't want to spend like more time or whatever. So that's fine. He was happy. That's what happened.
So it sounds like this is you. Somebody has an accident, then they contact you. They send you the information about what happened, the damages on the claim, or the vehicle. You, from your expertise, your car knowledge, you create an estimate. You give that back to the insured for them to go actually.
No. I first thing I do is I give them a free estimate.
Okay.
So for example, let's say it's $2,000. So now they just got an estimate for free, right? They didn't pay me anything. Now they know that, okay, it's worth purchasing an appraisal for $350. Because if it's like, I don't know, if it's $500, then maybe it's not worth it to purchase my appraisal. So now they know it's worth it for them to purchase an appraisal from me. Then they purchase an appraisal, then they take the appraisal, and with the appraisal to back up their claim, they make the claim.
Gotcha. So they take it, you never talk to the insurance companies for them.
No, because it's not my claim.
Mm. Could you ever do that? You would have to be an adjuster, right?
Well, no, I can't because it's not my claim.
Huh.
So,
But so as a public adjuster, I advocate for the homeowner. So that's what I'm saying.
Right, that's different. So I don't have a public adjuster license.
I see.
So I think that's why I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm an appraiser.
Okay. So you create the estimate and you help guide them, you give them guidance essentially on how to get your full value of your estimate that you created to them.
Of the appraisal. So,
okay, of the appraisal.
Yeah.
Now, does the insurance company look at it differently because you are like a third party, since it's not, your claim? And somebody is okay.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, because it helps because I'm a qualified third party. So basically, it's not like it's my claim and I did my own appraisal.
And you're not the repair mechanic either, who's trying to make a additional profit. So somebody asked, first somebody said you do offer 100% money back guarantee, which is fantastic. And then this also question says, what makes your appraisals valid?
So that's a very good question. The first thing is I comply with USPAP standards, and those are standards that were passed by Congress. And the USPAP stands for Uniform Standards of Professional Appraisal Practice. So they've issued guidelines that all appraisers should comply with. And that doesn't just go for auto, it goes for real estate, jewelry, paintings, anything that appraisers appraise. The good appraisers are compliant with USPAP. So that's first. And second is I'm qualified. I'm an expert in the area of diminished value appraisal specifically. I've worked for years with personal injury attorneys, helping them with diminished value claims. I've worked with body shops. I've worked with individual car owners. The car owners who've worked with me, they've gotten paid thousands and thousands of dollars. I've done very many cases. So I'm qualified to provide a certified diminished value appraisal.
Okay, gotcha. Now, do you need any, so you have a certification, a license, that's what somebody would need to go, or is there training, pre-certification training or pre-licensing training that somebody has to get? And did you know about auto parts? I know when I was
there is a certification.
Okay. Okay, that's good. There's a certification. Do you have to do a course?
Certification, right. And yes, you have to do a course and you have to pass an exam. And there are several appraiser associations that offer a certification for auto appraisal, and not just for diminished value, but you can also do total loss. You can do repair-related diminished value. You can do like pre-purchase inspections and things like that. It's just that I personally choose to focus on diminished value.
Okay.
So there are several associations, and they issue these certificates to be an auto appraiser. And I'm going to give you a link here. One second.
Okay. Yeah.
So definitely. One is called the Bureau of Certified Auto Appraisers, BOCAA. And there's another one that's called IAAA, International Automotive Appraisers Association. So you can also get certified there.
Okay. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So just again, for everybody who's tuning in, we are talking to Simon, last name?
Galfrin.
Galfred.
You should write it down. This is the second
I
time
had
you're
it.
asking.
I know, it's so bad.
You can just say Simon.
I know. Okay, I'll just say Simon. But we're talking to Simon. He's an auto appraiser. He lives in California, but he's able to work claims all across the nation. Did you have to get like additional? So for us, if we want to work claims in Washington, we have to pay for the license and get that. Is that also the case for you?
No, because we're doing desk appraisals, and basically for this we can do it nationwide. We're not
Okay.
doing the damage appraisal like damage appraisal, like a repair estimate. So our appraisal is different because what we're working on are the market values of vehicles.
Oh, just the market values. That's so interesting. I had
Right.
no freaking idea. Because people, so like, let's say, for example, gap coverage, right? So people always end up losing out. So how would that work if, somebody's car, I guess, is like totaled? Are you still able to help in a situation
Well,
like
if the car
that?
is total, then there is no diminished value. You just get a check for the total loss, right?
Oh, I see. I see. I see. So it's even better if it's not totaled, and then you
And
can.
what often happens is that like a lot of people have a big problem with insurance companies not totaling their vehicle, but after like really bad damage, the damage is like over 20,000 grand, like and the insurance company still doesn't want to total it because it's like a few percentage points away from the total loss threshold, and that really pisses off a lot of people.
Huh.
But what I've seen a lot is when people say, okay, so you're not going to total my car, that's fine, but I'm also going to claim diminished value for $7,000. And you know what happens? They say, oh, no, we'll total it.
Oh, wow. Got to be
Yeah.
careful with those words that you use then. Got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, it's just because like if you don't claim diminished value, then it's worth it for them to not total it and gain like a few $100. They see that the whole claim is going to be much more, and it's not worth it for them to not total it.
Wow. Okay. Well, listen. I know it's getting late on this side of town, but this is super super interesting. Again, if we're talking to Simon, he's an auto appraisal, and for diminished value appraiser. Yeah, he's a diminished value appraiser. And so it looks like we have a question from Jay Hunter. It says auto claims adjusting and auto claims appraising are two areas of expertise, correct? Okay, so they are two different areas. So the claims on the claims side adjusting, you're looking at what is owed based on basically the policy. You're trying to do the OEM, your original equipment manufactured parts, and then on this side, for at least for what you do, because there's other types of appraisers, as you mentioned, you're trying to show that the value of the car based on, let's say, for example, a Carfax report is now lower because you have had an accident. So two cars, one that was both of them 2008 cars, one was in an accident. That one could never be sold for as much as the car that was never in an accident. And so you help bridge that gap and get people that funds for that side. Okay, so another question from the audience says, how many appraisals on average do you work on a weekly or monthly basis? And can you compare that to now versus when you first started out?
Let me see. So currently I'm doing like 3 to 4 appraisals a week. But I'd like to grow that significantly. I'd like to educate more people about diminished value.
Yes, yeah. I don't know who for those up there watching, I don't know who knew about this, But I mean, this is brand new news to me that I could, for my accident, whether I was at fault or not at fault, that I could actually have some additional money that I just basically left out on the table.
Exactly.
So what's one way that you find your clients, and maybe this is something in California, because the one that you got the $5,000 for, he sounds like he kind of knew what he was doing. He hired the lawyer and then he had you. I mean, how do we educate more people?
So for example, that guy, he found out about me from his body shop. So I work with some body shops and they refer people to me. I also work with car accident lawyers. And I also want to work with the public adjusters, actually. I just started working with public adjusters. And for example, one public adjuster in Florida just sent me a client. I also want to work with insurance agents. So there are like many people who deal with people who have been in accidents, and I can help them.
Yeah, see, you'll never see a commercial about diminished value from any insurance company. So how long have you been doing this, Simon? And what was it like starting out?
I've been doing it for about 2 years.
Okay.
And and now I'm really like focusing it and trying to grow the business and educate more people about it. So just now I'm getting like much more serious about it.
Okay, that's great. Did you know anything about auto before you got started? Like, were you a car guy? Did you have an accident? Like, how did you get involved?
No. So I had an accident. And actually the story of how I got involved is on my website. Like if you go to tigerdv.com and you click on About Us, it has my my story. So I got in an accident. I had a very nice orange Mustang, sports Mustang, and I was living in Las Vegas, and one early morning, this stripper girl, she just crashed into me from behind. I was just stopped at a red light. She crashed into me. She was like drunk and like on OxyContin, something like that, just ruined my car. And then I had to do a lot of research. Like I went online, I did a lot of research. How do I make a proper claim after an accident? And I was looking, I got a lawyer for for the whiplash, and I got it repaired. But then I went to so many sites. I went to maybe 15 different sites, and I saw this little thing about diminished value. It said you should also claim diminished value. I'm like, what is this? I didn't see this anywhere else. And I looked into this, and then I found out what it is. And then I did more research, and I found out that it's actually a real thing, and it's a legal thing. People actually get paid this, and judges award these amounts. And I started asking people around. I started asking my friends, have you ever heard of diminished value? I started asking my family. I asked my mom. I was like, you had an accident 3 years ago. Did you claim diminished value? She was like, claim what? So I was like, wow, how does no one know about this? And that's how I got into it. So that's when I decided to go get certified at the Bureau of Certified Auto Appraisers. I got certified, and that's how I got started.
Wow. You're really like the Robin Hood of the auto claims industry.
That's how I see myself.
Yeah, that's a badge of honor. That's how I see myself too over in on the property side.
You help people who have been in storms and to get what they deserve from the insurance companies.
Absolutely, man. We're siblings of the same badge, of the same heart.
Yeah, it really feels good to help people.
Right, it does, it does. So guys, listen, we're talking to Simon. He's a diminished value appraiser. I'm going to be wrapping things up in about 5 to 10 minutes. So if you do have any final questions for Simon, please let us know. I am here on YouTube. You can type that right into the chat there. You can also reach Simon at tigerdv.com. He helps individuals who have had an accident get diminished value for their auto claims, which means essentially when you go to try to sell that car because it has that accident in that auto history, you're not going to ever be able to sell it as high as if it had never had an accident. And proper indemnification would be for you to be able to go and have that available to you. I can kind of understand too, Simon, why some laws say, hey, you get 3 years, 6 years, or 6 years, because people don't know. And then, it takes time to even get the information out there in the
Exactly.
trillion
They
dollar.
don't want people to lose out on money that they deserve just because they didn't know about something and then the clock ran out.
Yeah, absolutely. So how long does it take to get certified?
It takes about a month, like the usual course, just to go through all the courses and go through the exams.
Is it a set number of hours? And then how many exams?
There is like one big exam, and then the hours is just however long it takes you to get through the material.
Okay, because we have a 40-hour course. So it says you have to complete 40 hours of such and such training. Yours is just complete this course.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And then you submit it over to that the board that you had, and then they get that back to you. You're able to do it once you have one. It's across the board. You're adjusting. You can do it nationwide. Do you do Canada or is just the U.S.?
I don't do Canada, but Canada is very interesting. In Canada, in British Columbia and in Ontario, you can do diminished value, but in other provinces, you cannot. I have not done any claims in Canada yet, but I might in the future. I just haven't had anyone from Canada.
Sure. Is there anything in particular somebody should do immediately after an accident that can help them with the diminished value after that accident happens? Is there anything in particular that I know you talked about making sure file?
Thing, and it's a very basic thing, but unfortunately, a lot of people, in the stress of the situation, that they don't do is to get the insurance information of the other party, because I often run into this problem. That people don't get the information. Sometimes they even call police, and police get there and they still don't get the information of the other party, because it's absolutely critical to make a proper diminished value claim to have the information of the other insurance company. So so if, for example, if that person is, first of all, you should always call police. Always, whether you're injured or not, call them, have them document everything, write a police report. Also, if you have witnesses, you should interview the witnesses, get their information. So just in case if there's any dispute, you have the witnesses. Also, I highly recommend getting one of those dash cams in your vehicle, because, not everyone is honest. Some people are scumbags, It can be their fault completely, but they're going to claim that it was your fault and there are no witnesses, and that makes it, much more difficult for you. So get that dash cam. It's really not a lot on Amazon. It's $30-$50. It will save you so much headache if you run into a scumbag, who hits you and then tries to deny responsibility. So I would say those two are actually my biggest tips, because once you can prove liability, once liability is established, and once you have their insurance information, then you can make a claim. Then it's just the rest is just making the claim, getting an appraisal and making the claim.
Wow. Wow. Well, Simon, I definitely appreciate your time. Just one more time, tell the people who you are, how they can reach you, and give us your pitch. So for anybody who sees this, they may be able to contact you.
Okay, sure. So my name is Simon Galperin. I'm a diminished value appraiser. I help people get diminished value after a car accident. And if you've been in a car accident within the last couple of years, or anyone who has been, your friends, your family, please educate them, tell them that they're owed diminished value, and this is something that they deserve and something that they should claim. And you should direct them to my website, tigerdb.com. I can get them a free estimate of diminished value. I can also answer any questions about diminished value. And thank you for having me about here. It was fun.
Awesome.
Hey guys, let me ask you a quick question. I know you're busy, but what I want to know is, have you ever thought about becoming a claims adjuster, helping people get back right on their feet after an incident? Well, here's the good news, is that claims adjusting is the most rewarding experience that you can possibly have. It's a high-paying career, and it's really, really easy to get into, and I want you to be able to get into it too. I have training set up, got training going on right now. Stay tuned. I just, want to be able to help you change your life. Have you ever thought about becoming somebody who makes more money, who has more freedom to be time freedom to be able to help their family, who helps people, who has a rewarding career? If that's you, this is it. And I want you to be able to join my program and learn exactly how you go from being unlicensed to having work, and join our job placement guarantee in our course that is going to provide that training for you. Take a look at just what people say about my training, all right?